huge clap. And take a deep breath, and whenever you're, oh, wait. Okay.
Is it a pizza slice, a model, or none of the above? It is in videos such as these that the extremes of Photoshop are revealed, and the extent at which it can shape our body is deemed limitless. So how can we trust anything advertisers put out? The answer is we can't, because 100% of all advertisements, according to Fashionista magazine, are changed in one way, shape, or form. That's 100%. According to an article, a CNN article by Tiffany App, London banned advertisements that displayed an unrealistic body image in their transportation systems. Why would they do this? It is because advertisements have such a strong influence that they can induce children at young ages such as 6 to start dieting. And if we are exposed to about 5,000 of these types of ads a day, according to Jay Walker Smith, who is a marketing president for Yankee Lovick, then we can deduce that whether we know it or not, advertisements have such a huge effect on us. That is why I chose this as my topic, because many people in my life have been affected by a body image standard that has been created by the advertising industry. I think it is very important to educate my peers about how the pervasive medium of advertising can shape our perception. I'm here to inform you all about how the advertising industry has created an unrealistic body standard for women by using Photoshop, lack of body diversity in their advertisements, and last but not least, how they use success and sex appeal to do so. The first main point I would like to talk about is how they use Photoshop to create an unrealistic body image for women. And they use this by using the puppet warp tool in Photoshop. So the woman on the right is much thinner in areas such as the legs and the waist because the puppet warp tool is able to shrink down the areas of the body. And by doing this, it creates an unrealistic body standard for women because these women are being compared to as the norm. And this is considered the norm. But what is important to acknowledge is that they're not slimming down your normal woman. They're slimming down your model that is a size 0 to a 2 to maybe a size -4, which is not even a natural size. So when women compare themselves to this unnatural size, it creates this unrealistic body standard. Also, Photoshop has been used to create the quote-unquote perfect skin. So for the example, it can be used to remove blemishes, freckles, pores, and in doing so, it creates an unrealistic body standard. Why do we do this as an advertising industry? We all have pores, we all have freckles, and we all have blemishes at one point in our life, and when we become old, we will have wrinkles on our face. But by using Photoshop to remove these natural qualities that make us human, we create an unrealistic body standard because people compare themselves to an unattainable feat of flawless skin. Now that I've covered how Photoshop can create this unrealistic body standard for women, let's delve into how the lack of body diversity in certain advertisements can also share some of the blame. So for the purpose of my speech, a lack of body diversity in advertisements is displaying or characterizing women as one shape or size in these advertisements. So for example, in this Vogue cover, you might think there's a lot of diversity in this picture based on skin tone, but as for body shape, there is no diversity because all of these women are the same size. None of these women are plus-size models. According to Marcia Badger's article on body image published in 2015, quote, the average woman wears a size 14, while the average model wears a size 0 to 2, end quote. It is this disparity between reality and what advertisements put out that creates this unrealistic body standard because the representation or the collection of models used is so different from the population of the whole and is not indicative of representative of this entire population. Now that we've covered how body image can be shaped by lack of body diversity, I would like to explore how portrayal of success also can do the same effects. Companies entice their consumers by saying you'll become prettier or more successful if you buy their products with the skinny models on them. And in doing so, they correlate success with thinness. According to an online e-news article published in 2015 following the New York Fashion Show, quote, lack of body diversity on runways, and in turn, in advertisements, reinforces the idea that thinness is equated with success, beauty, and overall happiness. It is these connections that lead to the unrealistic body standard for women. For example, in these advertisements may be intended to sell clothing, accessories, or jewelry. They connect the idea of thinness with being successful, whether it is going on the runway, which means you are famous, or whether you are on the beach and you have an expensive front property. It's displaying your wealth success, or maybe family success as well. All these women are thin, and we equate thinness with success because of these successful standards. Besides success being a tool used to attract buyers in advertising, sex appeal can also have the same damaging effect on women's body standards. Women can be enticed to buy a product through ads displaying sex appeal. But if only thin models are present in these ads, then the idea it becomes the sexy body is the thin body, which leads to women creating this unrealistic body image for them based on sex appeal. For example, in ads maybe intended to sell Calvin Klein underwear, it can create this unrealistic body standard because all these women are thin and are deemed attractive by these male models, so women begin to correlate, I must be thin to become attractive. And it is this unreasonable connection that reinforces the idea of an unrealistic body standard for women. To sum it all up, I brought to your attention about how the advertising industry has created an unrealistic body standard for women using Photoshop, lack of body diversity in advertisements, and last but not least, how they use success and sex appeal to do so. Thinking back on the video I showed you in the very first slide, how the pizza slice became a model, I hope you realize that you can never trust anything that the advertising industry is putting out. Because 100% of these advertisements are changed in one way, shape, or form. Now when you see advertisements, I hope you have a better understanding about the tools advertisers use to manipulate image body standards. Despite advertisements being static in stature, being inanimate, they have the capability of moving and changing our perception of reality, and therefore our perception of body